If you play Hylos in solo rank and still feel useless late game, this video is for you. You are tanky, you soak damage, you run in first, but your team doesn't follow, objectives get ignored, and the game slowly slips away. The truth is, Hylos is one of the strongest solo rank roamers right now, but only if you understand how to control fights, space, and tempo. In this video, I'll break down how to play Hylos early, mid, and late game, how to force good fights, even with unreliable teammates, and how to turn Hylos into a real win condition in solo rank. If you want to stop suffering and start winning, stay till the end. Still stuck in the same rank? I'm Hajun, a 300 plus stars former pro roamer. In Season 21, I hit Global number 3 Jawhead, Global number 15 Matilda, and Global Popol and Koopa, all with over 80% win rate. And I'm working with Dez, a 1000 stars and ex Global number 1 Lancelot, also from the pro scene. We teach macro, rotations, shot calling, pressure timing, and mindset, the things that actually win games, not random tips. Our coaching prices are $80 for a minimum of 2 hours. If you're serious about climbing, get our coaching. All details can be found in the description of this video. For Hylos' build, generally I do recommend getting Encourage Blessing as it is the best for Hylos. And I always also suggest getting Tough Boots because it reduces the CC duration. Next up, the item I like to buy right after the boots is actually Elegant Gem. So how do you find Elegant Gem? You go to Clock of Destiny and it is the small item right here. The reason I like building it is because of the passive. It recovers your HP. When your HP drops below 50%, you're going to recover 15% HP, and it's really good for Hylos in the early game to tank some extra damage and have more sustain. After that, I generally like to always build Dominance Ice because of the hybrid defense, then Radiant Armor if I'm taking magic damage. If not, then I will either build Anti-Cuirass instead of it. Next, Chastise Pauldron is optional. For this slot, I would suggest building an item based on the damage dealer of the opponent team. So if they have physical skill based damage, you're gonna go Antique. If they have an attack speed marksman or a marksman who heavily relies on crit, you're gonna go for Blade Armor. If they have more magic damage, you're gonna build an Athena shield on top of the Radiant Armor. And scenarios like that are pretty much where the jungler, mage, and marksman or the goal laner are all magic damage. That's when you would build Radiant Armor and Athena shield. And if they have attack speed marksman, of course, you're also going to build Chastise Pauldron. That's pretty much one of the best items I like to build. If you don't know what to build, go for Chastise Pauldron because it does regenerate 20% of your HP when your HP drops below 30%, which is really good for sustain, and paired up with Elegant Gem, it just works really, really well. And I like to finish it off with Immortality. Now, should you finish Clock of Destiny? And why do I not finish it in the early game? Well, the reason for not finishing it in the early game is because first, it takes too much gold, and Elegant Gem is a lot cheaper, 700 gold only, and Dominance Ice is a far more valuable item. Now, Clock of Destiny should be finished once you have finished your entire build, only if you are winning. If you are winning a game, then you should complete Clock of Destiny, upgrade this Elegant Gem to that. But if the game is equal or you guys are losing, I would highly suggest just selling this and getting another defense item. And in this scenario, whatever item you may need to increase your defense against the opponents, right? Like Guardian Helmet if there's a Leslie on the opponent team, right? I do have an item guide, go check that out if you guys are confused. Yeah, that's pretty much gonna be Hylos' build, what you should be building on him. Just overall tank build, right? And as for the emblem, I would highly suggest building him tank emblem with Vitality, Tenacity, and Concussive Blasts. As for the spell, you should always go Revitalize because it pairs really well with his ultimate. So when should Hylos be picked? Hylos can be picked pretty much anywhere. It works really well versus Hilda because his second skill can slow her down really well. The biggest tip I can give you for using Hylos is to use it with a mage that can use their skills while moving. Some examples are Zushin, Kimi, and Zetian. In this game I actually have a Zetian, and Hylos works really well with them because they can use Hylos' ult to walk along with you, get the movement speed, and follow you up really well. Alright guys, so to start off, this is something I always mention in my videos. You should always check the EXP side buff. If it's not possible to check the EXP side buff, it's fine, don't worry too much about it. because the next thing you should do is just clear mid. If you're not able to go and check the EXP side buff itself, because of whatever reason it may be, whether it be opponents pressuring you or you just not feeling safe to go and check it, it's fine. It's not something you must do, but something you have to always consider is the side where your jungler is starting his buff. Since my jungler is starting his buff on the red side, I also have to be on this side of the bush. If my jungler started on the blue side, I would stand here. Now, why is this important? This is important because if the jungler's buff was getting invaded, the opponents would take this route. Let's say they were invading blue. If they were taking this route, I would immediately spot them, and I could prevent it from happening. That is the main reason as to why I think you should always try to mirror the bush your jungler starts on. Now, what happens if your jungler doesn't start on the EXP side buff? Well, that means you simply can't vision it. Just leave it. If he doesn't start on the EXP side buff, you can just straight up go to mid lane, clear it, vision the buff for your jungler, get the XP from it, and then continue your normal rotation. Remember guys, yes, there is an ideal rotation, but if things don't go as planned, don't panic, just try to compromise and go along with the flow. Since I am not able to go to EXP side buff and I had a feeling that the opponents would invade my Suyo, I just decided to clear mid as fast as possible and then to just go help Suyo. As you can see, they have a very strong mid, which is Kimi. Kimi is really strong in the early game, and most of the fights you take versus Kimi, you don't really win. Now that I saw my Zetian going along this way, and I noticed that, well, there are no enemies invading Suyo's buff, what I tried to do is maybe potentially try to zone Letho, in hopes that Suyo comes up and decides to take it. Generally, I don't really like ganking side lanes too much in the early game. The reason being, if I do decide to gank, let's say this Esme, this area is really open for opponents to just take over. And in the early game, I don't like sacrificing this area because it is very important. And a lot of the times, getting those early kills on the side lanes, it does help, but if Zetian can get it done by her own, while I can control this area, that's a win-win for me. Because I'm not having to give up control, and Zetian is getting a nice little kill anyways. Now, since I didn't check the blue buff, I know that the opponent probably started on his blue. Due to that, I'm actually walking up over here, trying to disrupt the enemy or opponents now, knowing that my Suyo is safe. Once he is safe, I can try to disrupt the opponent's jungle or just give overall more vision to get more XP and more gold, so I can reach level 4 faster. And in my opinion, the early game rotation is the most important for roamers to scale properly. As you can see, Harley did start blue, and now they're chasing me. This is why Kimi is so strong in the early game, and I was a little bit too overextended here, because my jungler isn't here and my Zetian isn't here either. However, they did manage to kill the Esme, which is really good, and I didn't have to sacrifice control of this area, so I didn't have to be there. A lot of the times when you're playing roam, you don't necessarily have to be present at every fight. It's how you move and how you control the map. Controlling the map is the most important thing for roamers. As you can see, I just used my Revitalize, and Hylos is very tanky in the early game. He can tank a lot of damage. Once again, panning the map is so important to kind of understand what is going on around the map. I always suggest panning map whenever you can. It is so important, and it's gonna save you a lot of troubles. As you can see, I am constantly panning the map, trying to get a better idea of what is going on. I come over here, Hilda is trying to attack me. As you know, Hilda is really strong in the early game. However, I think Hylos is a really good pick versus her because of how strong his second skill is, and you can pretty much slow down Hilda so much that she can't run away. Right now, in my head, I'm trying to bait this Hilda to come to this direction. The reason is I'm checking the map and I'm seeing that my Suyo is already here. This Hilda is pretty low, she used her second skill. So if my Suyo gets this, he has enough damage in the early game to actually kill this Hilda. And that's what I'm trying to do, trying to bait her to come in as deep as possible to chase me. There you go. Now as you can see, Hilda does use Revitalize, but it does not matter because we still kill this Hilda. And I pretty much baited her. Now I keep going for this Granger. Why? Because Granger used his first skill and Hylos is tanky enough in the early game to actually sustain the damage of Granger. And even if I were to die, it would be a really good trade because my Moskov and my Suyo would get a nice little kill onto the Granger, leading to Moskov clearing this wave and actually pushing this gold tower, which is going to push us further into the lead. Now that turtle is coming up, what I'm pretty much trying to do is I don't have my level 4. First turtle is up. I'm trying to clear and get XP from the mid minions as much as I can while also saving them for Zetian because Zetian still needs her farm. After clearing this wave, I'm going to be a little bit closer to level 4, not quite there yet because we did have a lot of fights break out in the early game and I couldn't do the usual rotation, so I haven't reached level 4. Now this is not looking good for us in this current scenario, but if you take a look at the map, you can see that Suyo and Exborg are nearby. So I should definitely try to prolong this fight as long as I can and try to keep them here because Suyo and Exborg are very close and they will follow up, and if they follow up we will definitely win this fight, leading us to taking turtle, even potentially taking their blue. And as you can see, we get a nice little double kill here. We kill their Kimmy and their Hilda, and Harley is pretty low too. When you are invading, this is very important for when you're invading. You should always try to go from outward to inward, okay? So when you're invading, for example, you want to invade the buffs that are more towards the enemy's side, and then you want to come towards more of your side. Creeps, buffs, and jungles. That is the best way to invade because since we just won the fight, they're all dead. So if we take the innermost resources and then slowly start going outside, that's gonna be a safer route to take. So we'll be in a more riskier position in the map when the opponents are dead, and as they start coming alive, we're gonna go to a more safer part of the map to farm. This is the best way to invade. In this current scenario, since it is only 3 minutes into the game, the opponent respawn timers are very low. Due to that, invading blue buff in my opinion would be too ambitious, so we just stick to doing turtle. Because by the time we are on blue buff, the opponents will probably have respawned and would be making their way there. And this is also true for red. For example, Suyo is actually doing a really good thing over here. He's taking the green, and potentially even this green of Harley, because taking this blue would be too ambitious. So him taking these two greens over here would actually be a really good idea. And then we can come and take turtle afterwards because we are already in the lead. The score is 8-3, so we can take fights and actually win them. So taking the innermost resources is actually a good decision. Once again, as you can see, Hylos is really good versus Hilda. You can just constantly stay on her and prevent her from going anywhere. Just like that. Not sure what that Hilda is doing, going for Exborg like that when he has the armor. But it is what it is. That was actually a good trade. Hilda for the Exborg was good. Harley followed it up and killed Exborg. So it is in their favor. So I guess the Hilda was is just better. You know, he's foreseeing all of this. Now we do the turtle, and usually you shouldn't stick around and hit the turtle when you're playing roam. You should try to zone the area. So the best way to zone the area is to open this bush, open this bush. Anyone who walks towards the turtle, you want to zone them away from the turtle so your jungler is able to secure it safely. Now we are not really in a good position right now because it's only me and Suyo on turtle. These two are currently trying to push in while Kimi is pushing mid. It's not good at all. And it is a very risky position to be in because our teammates, our EXP and our mage are nowhere near us. So it's kind of a gamble. I know that this is a fight that I don't want to take right now, but I know that the turtle is also pretty low and Suyo has his second skill red tree. So I'm gonna temporarily try to zone them off so we can just take this turtle somehow and dip. I'm not trying to stay here at all because we are at a disadvantage. And he secures the turtle, and as you can see, we are just dipping. Unfortunately, we couldn't. Hilda does manage to kill us. However, Borg gets the kill back and trades me. So really good job from the Borg. He gets the Hilda and he gets the Granger, which is really, really good because roam for marksman and their roamer is always better. Suyo doesn't die, he survives, and it's really good. I come back to the fight. Now as soon as I come back to the fight, I take the cloud and I'm gonna go over here because I know there's a fight going on over here. And since Suyo is low and retreating, Harley is back. There is a very high chance they invade the red. So I'm trying to walk towards the red because I know that it's a very risky place. Borg healed up because I used my Revitalize to heal him up so he doesn't die from the Harley ult. Can't really do much for my Zetian here because... well, actually I am. I stunned the Hilda and my Zetian escapes with 1 HP. I'm gonna try to stay on the Harley. He runs away with second skill. And guys, Harley is actually a decent jungler right now. Not sure if you know, but Aurora Turkey, the jungler, TNZ, is picking Harley and is doing decently well. He has a lot of mobility with his second skill and you can burst squishies pretty well. So it's just overall really good. Once again guys, Hilda is so OP, as you guys can see. Thankfully, Suyo is able to trade me back, so that's really good. No one is defending mid, and mid is the most important lane. Now yes, Zetian is coming to mid, however I don't want this tower to go down that much. So I'll just defend it for now and then head back to either the side lane to vision for Moskov, or maybe go to their blue or look at what Suyo is doing. Now there are a few options in this scenario. And decision making is really important because you need to decide where you want to go. And the best decision in my opinion is honestly to just zone this area right now because turtle is going to be up soon. However, if you see Suyo advancing towards this area or trying to invade, you should definitely try to help him out. Moskov doesn't have vision around this area, but you have to trust him to play safe. Because if your jungler is trying to make a play over here, you need to respond to this. Right, Suyo is dominating. He is strong in the early, and since it's only 5 minutes into the game, we need to play with a guy who does a lot of damage in the early game rather than the guy who's gonna scale in the late game. Alright, this is how you should be making your decision, and think about it. Is it gonna be better if I'm here? Or if I'm here? Or in the turtle? Or is it better if I help my jungler to invade? It is always better to help your jungler in the early game. Remember that guys, always. Towards the mid to late game, you can focus more on your gold laner. I just clear up mid, and then now I decide to go top. Why? Because turtle is coming up soon. And I knew that Moskov would be in a little bit of a predicament because Hilda is here. And I mean, Suyo is probably just taking Letho, and he would probably come over to turtle right after. Suyo gets a nice little kill onto Esme. Now, as you can see, Suyo and Xborg have killed Esme, so bottom lane is completely free. So if my team decides to go for bottom lane and sacrifice turtle for it, that is completely fine. If that is something that happens, you can leave turtle, let it be, because a tower is more valuable than turtle in my opinion. And as you can see, since I know that Suyo is all the way here, I'm not playing way too aggressive. I'm not really using my ulti. I'm playing a little bit more safer than usual. As you can see, I'm still holding onto my ult and I decide to use it now. And I'm not really advancing onto them because I know that these are the only only 2 damage dealers that are near me right now. So I'm just trying to walk inside my ulti and use the Revitalize to heal up a lot faster. I know they don't have enough damage to just completely burst me and take me down. That is why I'm doing this, to kind of peel for these 2 and zone for these 2 so they can consistently keep dealing damage. In this scenario, I know that either my Moskov and my Zetian can get a kill and they can actually finish them off. I also know that my Moskov has his ultimate, so if he was to ulti over here, he could actually get a lot of kills. And I feel like in this scenario, it is a good sacrifice for me to make because I still have my first skill, I can stun one of them, and my Moskov can kill. So if I die and Moskov gets a kill and they also die, it's good because I'm the roamer and this is the jungler, the mid laner, and the gold laner. All 3 of these have more value than me. They are more valuable compared to the roamer. So if I die, but they die as well, it's a good trade for us. And remember, macro is all about trading. You have to try to win and get good trades. Win the trade, get better trades. That is how you have good macro. And good macro equals to more wins. I stunned the Harley, however, as you can see, Moskov teleports, Zetian also comes in, gets a nice little kill onto the Kimi and also onto the Harley. And Suyo is also here, gets a nice little kill onto Granger. So, just because I died, that led to us killing 3 more people. That is really, really worth it. And as a roamer, this is the kind of decision that you need to make. And now in this part of the game, in this phase of the game, when it's 7 minutes in, the Lord is going to spawn soon. Right? The Lord is in bottom lane. Bottom lane is, well, the most important, right? However, when Lord spawns in a certain lane, let's say bottom in this scenario, the most important lane that we need to focus on is the lane opposite of it, which is top lane. Why is that? The reason is, when we are trying to do Lord, let's say Lord is up, right? But when Lord is up, this wave is pushing onto their towers. It's destroying their tower. They have this pressure, oh my god, if we fight Lord, our towers are gonna get destroyed while we fight Lord. There's a pressure on them, right? And they can't really focus. And a lot of the time, someone might even go and defend. So when someone goes and defends, and you fight Lord, well, you have the 5 versus 4 advantage because one of their players are clearing. And the best way to make sure that the minions are pushing onto their towers when the Lord is up is a term called slow pushing. Now, what is slow pushing? Slow pushing is pretty much, let me play this a little bit longer. I hope you can see the minion. So slow pushing is pretty much when you kill the opponent's smaller minions. So you would kill these 2. Imagine that these are the opponent's minions. You would only kill these 2 and leave the big one alive. Because eventually, since your minion wave has all 3 of the minions, they're going to kill this guy faster than this guy kills them, right? And since that's gonna happen, eventually it's going to start pushing because your minions are gonna overpower theirs because you cleared 2 of them. Now this is good to do when there is about 20 seconds left of the Lord. Sorry if my handwriting is bad, I am using a mouse. When there is 20 seconds left for Lord. This is usually good to do because the minions are still at mid lane. They're not really pushing, so no one has to like clear it. If they want to clear it, they have to walk up all the way here, and it is not safe for them to walk up all the way here because we can kill them because we have more map control. So if you slow push when there is 20 seconds left for Lord, right, then you are also giving yourself enough time to go back to Lord by the time Lord comes up and actually start it as soon as it's up. And by the time you start Lord, these minion waves are gonna push into the tower. That is why slow pushing is so important, and this is something that more players need to understand. Slow pushing and full clearing, right? You can full clear when Lord is gonna spawn really soon, right? But around the 20-second mark, slow pushing is the best. I'm sorry guys, I'm explaining a lot too much in depth. I'm sorry if I'm yapping too much, but I feel like this is information you guys really need to know and really need to apply to your games. Like, I know some of you guys are feeling like, yo Hajun, stop yapping, just play the damn video. But you guys need to understand these things. Okay, just try to tank for my team, try to give them vision, tank the towers, right, so my team can get kills. Now, since 2 of them are dead and their mid laner is dead, no one is gonna defend mid, so we're gonna take mid lane. There we go. Exborg gets a nice kill onto Hilda, and now, because I saw opponents near this tower, I am walking up to this bush, because if they do come to defend this tower, they have to come through here, and I'm gonna spot them, and I can walk up and zone them so my team can push this tower. As you can see, right as I predicted, Harley is here, and I'm pretty sure he knew I was here too, so he just goes back. And now, I ultied this way. I ultied this way because I want to zone them away from this tower so they can't really walk up to defend it. Right, that is why I ultied this way. Not to try and kill them, but just to zone. And also to kind of get a little bit of my HP back because I was low. As you can see, I'm not really pushing, I'm just standing under the tower. This ulti is going to prevent them from walking up. That's it, that's all we need to do. Lord is coming up soon, so we're going to focus on Lord. Oh, Moskov teleported top lane. That's not good. Okay, never mind. He kills Esme. But Lord is up. Suyu alone is going to take a lot of time to do Lord. Moskov being there would have been a bit better, but you know, it's solo rank. Can't really complain. We're winning. We're doing really well. And Suyu secures the Lord, which is really good. Now, once you have secured Lord, the next thing that you need to do and you need to prepare for, and in solo rank it's really hard because everyone just straight up pushes mid right after Lord. No, you cannot push up mid. Guys, worst thing to do when Lord comes up, because when you push mid, like all of your minions and everything is just gonna get pressured on mid, and the opponents don't have to worry about defending the other towers. They only have to worry about defending mid, and they can all focus on that and clear it really fast. This is why you are not able to end your games even if you get Lord. This is why the opponents are getting a comeback and you're just losing even though you're doing so good in the early game. This is the reason, because you're not utilizing Lord the proper way. Yes, now I know a lot of the times your team is just gonna push mid in solo rank and you can't control them. It is what it is. That's gonna happen and that's fine. But in a scenario where you can control them, you should always type in the chat, guys, sync up the waves. Now, what does syncing up the waves mean? Syncing up the waves means that when Lord is pushing, you have these minions a little bit ahead. So it should form a line like this, okay? So the 2 side lane minions are gonna be here on this, specifically on this line, right? And the mid lane minions are gonna be specifically on this line. What this makes sure is that all of the lanes, that all 3 lanes are pushing into all 3 of these towers at once. And that makes defending it a lot harder. And as you guys know, Lord always goes into one lane. Lord always goes to the lane which is the weakest. Okay? So in this scenario, it will definitely not go top lane because there's a secondary tower on top. Their top lane is the strongest. So it's either a tie between the mid and the bottom lane. Now, if they have the exact same HP, the Lord will always go mid. It will focus going mid if all the towers have the same HP. But I think, I'm not sure, I don't remember what happened in this game. I guess we'll find out. In this game, since this one doesn't have the shield, you know, the shield, that the tower has that explodes. After 12 minutes it goes away, but it's 8 minutes now, so it's still there. We made the bottom lane tower explode already, so it's a little bit weaker in comparison to this, right? So I don't know if it's gonna go bottom or mid. If they're the same HP, let's see what happens, because I think they are the same HP. I don't think we've touched bottom lane at all. So we got Lauren. As you know, it's going to spawn at 41 seconds. There we go, right? It spawned with the minion wave that spawns at 41 seconds. And it is going bottom lane because it doesn't have the explosion, right? It's the weakest lane. I spot Harley, Hilda, all of them here near my Moskov. I don't want my Moskov to die. So I'm just gonna vision this bush. And we are so far up ahead that if I vision a bush alone, I will survive. Okay, but you don't want to do this if you guys have equal gold, because you can easily get bursted in this bush. This bush is very risky. Just visioning this area for Moskov so he can push this tower, because we need to try to get this tower before Lord crashes onto the other towers. And as you can see, in this specific scenario, mid should be left alone. Right guys? Mid should be 100% left alone. Because if we clear mid right now, in this scenario, this mid lane is gonna push into this tower first. And it's gonna be easier for the opponents to defend it. So we are supposed to freeze mid and clear the other side lanes first, because mid is gonna push itself. And by the time mid pushes itself, all of the towers will be synced up with that curve I showed you guys before. But yeah guys, even if you're playing a simple hero like Hylos, you can do these kind of rotations and try to control the map the way I'm doing to ensure that you're winning. Here you go. As you can see, Hilda came from the back and I'm trying to peel my teammates from Hilda. Peeling pretty much means protecting. Okay, that's what peeling means. Now, since Jetian did an ult, I'm gonna ulti this way. And as you guys know, Hylos' ultimate, you should always use it on the enemy's path of escape, or to make it easier for your teammates to run onto the opponents. So as you can see, I ulted 3 people here. We get a nice kill onto Esme. Hilda does manage to escape. However, we are able to zone them out pretty well. Hilda also dies. And there we go. Now I'm gonna recall. I'm gonna recall because there is nothing much for me to do. Lord is still alive, yes, but I don't have my ulti. I don't have any regen. And I don't want to give them a free kill. I'm literally 1 HP. 1 hit and I'm dead. And there's nothing for me to do, so I'm just gonna back up, let my team push with the Lord, and then try to rejoin back with them. I think it's over because 3 of them are dead. Lord is already pushing. It's very healthy. Kimmy isn't gonna kill it at all. And yeah, we just won the game just like that because we were able to push properly and play properly, right? We took control of mid lane while the Lord was pushing this bottom lane. We kept them distracted, and that left the Lord pushing this tower. And since Lord is pushing, we push mid, and 3 of them are already dead. This is what you should be doing when you are super ahead. And remember guys, with Hylos, it is very difficult to siege. Sieging is pushing with the Lord, pushing the tower with the Lord. It is really difficult for Hylos to perform a good engage. The opponents made a mistake by taking a fight with us early on over here. They should have stood under their tower, waited for Lord and defended the Lord, because they easily could have done that. But they took a fight before Lord even crashed and died, and that led to us just straight up winning the game. And yeah guys, there you go. This is how you can play in solo rank and actually win your games with Hylos. Just because he's a simple hero doesn't mean that he doesn't work in solo, and it doesn't mean that you can actually take steps and measures to make sure you win. There you go guys. Here is the build. Now this game was played a long time ago, but as I showed you guys at the start of the video, you should be building Elegant Gem on Hylos because that is what they're doing in M7, and it's just overall gonna give you a nice little heal boost in the early game. So yeah, build Elegant Gem, then build all of your tank items. Once you are full build, sell the Elegant Gem and get a full tank item. Alright guys, with that, that's gonna be the end of the video. Thank you so much. If you liked this video and if you were able to learn a few things about roaming, Make sure to like and subscribe because it does help me out. I'm trying to grow. I'm a smaller content creator. If you think my content is good, help me out, right? So we can get my content out to more people in the future. And as you can see, 39% damage tanked. That is a lot, almost 40%. So we tanked a lot of damage, guys, right? With Hylos. Yeah. Alright, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video, which is gonna be about Tigreal. So stay tuned. Goodbye, guys.